Hi, kids. Welcome to Miss Nancy's Bible College for Kids. Thanks for being here. Today's lesson is a new one I've never done, and it's in the Old Testament in the book of Judges, and it's in chapter 6. I entitled it, 3 Pleas for God to Prove Himself. I like that title. Let's get started. The children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Midianites, 7 years. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them dens, which are in the mountains, and caves and strongholds. And so it was when Israel had sown, that means they planted stuff like a garden. When Israel had sown, that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them. And they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth. So everything that they had planted, they took. Till thou come unto Gaza, and left no sustenance, whether it was animal or plant, for Israel, neither sheep, nor ox, nor ass. For they come up with their cattle and their tents, and right here they are compared to a small animal. And they came as grasshoppers for multitude, for both they and their camels were without number. And they entered into the land to destroy it. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. And it came to pass, I want to stop right there for a second though. I bet the children of Israel are crying to the Lord now with all the war and all the people turning against them, even the United States. So we need to pray about that. But they cried unto the Lord because of the Midianites here, that the Lord sent a prophet unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, now here comes the Lord's speech. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt, and brought you forth out of the house of bondage, and I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drave them out from before you, and gave you their land. He said, remember a few things? And I said unto you, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But ye, here's the trouble, have not obeyed my words. And there came an angel of the Lord, and sat under an oak, which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon. Here's what Gideon was doing. Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress, and here's why he was there, to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, and said unto him, now this is the angel talking to Gideon, the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles, which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us, and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. They didn't understand what was causing this. And the Lord looked upon him and said, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent you? He said, you go, I'm telling you to. And he said unto him, now here's what we tend to do, we being at least Miss Nancy babies. He started making excuses. And he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou talkest with me. Depart not hence. Here's the first time that he's asked the Lord to prove himself. Depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee, and bring forth my present, and set it before thee. And he said, here's the angel responding to Gideon, I will tarry until thou come again. So he said, I'll wait on you, I'll prove it. And Gideon went in and made ready a kid. Now this is not a child. It's a baby lamb, a sheep, a baby goat. He made ready a kid and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour. And the flesh he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it out unto him under the oak, and presented it. And the angel of God, that title has changed, said unto him, Take the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and lay them upon this rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of his staff that was in his hand, and touched the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and there rose up fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. It doesn't say where he went to, but I'm sure it might have been back to heaven. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of the Lord, Gideon said, Alas, O Lord God, for because I have seen an angel of the Lord face to face. He believed. And the Lord said unto him, Peace be unto thee, fear not, thou shalt not die. Then Gideon built an altar there unto the Lord, and called it Jehovah Shalom. Unto this day it is yet in Ophrah of the Abi Ezrites. And it came to pass, boy, he gets you started and he's ready for you to do something. I hope all you babies out there is ready to do something. It came to pass that same night that the Lord said unto him, talking about Gideon, Take thy father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal. Baal is a false god that thy father hath, and cut down the grove that is by it. So his father had an altar to a false god. And here's what else he's to do. And build an altar unto the Lord thy God upon the top of the rock, this rock, in the ordered place. And take the second bullock, and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the grove which thou shalt cut down. Then Gideon took 10 men of his servants, and did as the Lord had said unto him. And so it was, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, that he did it by night. So we know when all this happened. And when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down, and the grove was cut down that was by it, and the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. And they said one to another, Who hath done this thing? And when they inquired and asked, they said, Gideon, the son of Joash, hath done this thing. Then the men of the city said unto Joash, Gideon's father, they said unto Joash, Bring out thy son, and here's why, that he might die. Boy, they're mad. Because, here's why they want to kill him, he has cast down the altar of Baal, and because he has cut down the grove that was by it. And Joash said unto all that stood against him, Will ye plead for Baal? I think Joash realized something. Will ye save him? He that will plead for him, let him be put to death this morning, while it is yet morning. If he be a god, maybe Joash was just trying to see if Baal was a god. Let him plead for himself. He said if he's a god, he can take care of it. Because one hath cast down his altar. I mean, that should make anybody angry. Therefore, on that day, he called him Jerubbaal. And now that's Gideon. He changed his name, saying, Let Baal plead against him, because he hath thrown down his altar. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east were gathered together, and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet. Bum, ba, da, da. I love making that trumpet sound. And Abiezer was gathered after him, and he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, who also was gathered after him. And he sent messengers unto Asher, and unto Zebulun, and unto Naphtali, and they came up to meet him. And Gideon said unto God, here comes the second and the third time that he asked God to prove himself. We've already went over the first one. Gideon said, if thou wilt save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool in the floor. And if the dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon all the earth beside, then shall I know that thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said. And it was so, for he rose up early on the morrow, and thrust the fleece together, and wringed the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. And Gideon said unto God, here's the third time, let not thine anger be hot against me, and I will speak but this once. He's saying, I'm not going to bother you anymore if you'll just listen. Let me prove, I pray thee, but this once with the fleece. Let it now be dry only upon the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. If you ever need something from God, ask him. He'll prove himself time and again. I promise. I've asked him a lot of times, Lord, would you do this? And if it's something that would please him, and you ask it in Jesus' name, fully expect it. Get it, guys, because he promises some things. Now, what did the children of Israel do for the Lord to deliver them into the hand of Midian? They did evil, didn't they? So how long did he deliver them up? 7 years. What did the children of Israel do because of the Midianites? They built dens and caves in the mountains and strongholds, didn't they? When Israel sowed or planted, made a garden, whatever, what did the others come and do with the Midianites? They destroyed all the increase of the earth. Did they leave Israel any sustenance, any animals, any plants so they could live? No, they did not. What was a small creature that all the Midianites and the other people that came into the land was compared to? Grasshoppers. And why was they compared to them? Because they were so many they couldn't be numbered. And why did they come into the land of Israel? To destroy it, just like they're trying to today, guys. What state was Israel in? Was they a rich country or was they a very poor country? They were impoverished because of the Midianites. So what did they do? They cried unto the Lord, didn't they? And then what happened? The Lord sent a prophet. Who was that prophet? Gideon. He said, the Lord made a speech and he reminded us some things. Can you remember any of the things that he told him? He said, have I not delivered you out of Egypt? Brought you out of bondage? Took away those that oppressed you? Drave them out and gave you their land? Have I not done enough? And he said, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites. But, here comes the scary part, you have not obeyed my voice. So who came and sat under an oak tree in Ophrah? An angel of the Lord, didn't it? And who threshed what by the winepress? Gideon did, and he threshed wheat. And why was he pressing it there? Because he was trying to hide food from the Midianites to feed the Israelites. And who appeared to Gideon? The angel of the Lord. What did he say? What did the angel say to Gideon? He said, you are the mighty man of valor. And what did Gideon reply? Oh, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why is all this happening? And he said, show me, where's all the miracles our fathers told us about? But then why did the Lord say that this had happened? He said, they forsook me and they didn't listen to me. So he said, go in this might. And he told him somebody go with him. Who did he say would go with him? He said he himself would, didn't he? So what does Gideon start doing? He starts making excuses. I'm poor. I'm the least one in my family. I'm nothing, Lord. Who did the Lord say again would be with him? Himself. And he also told Gideon, he said, you'll smite the Midianites as one man. It'd be like 1-on-1. But anyway, it was 2-on-1, and God was one of the ones. What did Gideon want the Lord to do the first time? He said, show me a sign. See, the people of Israel, they want a sign. The Jewish people are people for a sign. So the first sign he wanted was what? He said, would you tarry here until I go and get a present, a gift I'm going to give you and bring it back? What did the Lord do? The angel of the Lord. When it says the angel of the Lord, it's Jesus himself in spirit form. But anyway, he said, oh, I'll wait on you. So that was the first time Gideon proved him. What did Gideon go and prepare? A kid. Does that mean a child? Go dress a child? No. It means a little lamb or sheep or a little goat. And what did he make? He prepared that kid. He made broth. He made unleavened cakes of flour. And he put it in a basket. And he poured the broth into a pot. And he came where the angel of the Lord was. And what did he say for Gideon to do with it? He said, take the flesh and the cakes, put them on this rock, and then pour out the broth. So he did all that. And then what happened? The angel of the Lord put forth the end of his staff he was holding and touched the flesh and the cakes. And what happened? The fire rose up out of the rock and consumed it. I love that picture. What happened to the angel? It departed. It went away from him. What did Gideon do when he knew it was an angel? He called him, O Lord God. And he said the reason why he believed why. He said, I've seen an angel face to face. Remember that verse that Miss Nancy loves about be careful to entertain strangers, thereby some have entertained angels unaware. I entertained a stranger today. I don't think it was an angel, but you never know. What did the Lord say? Peace be to you. Fear not. You ain't dying. That's Miss Nancy's version. I like to throw that in every once in a while. So what did Gideon do? He built an altar. He was so excited he built an altar for the Lord. And then what did the Lord want on it? He said, I want you to take your father's second bullock of how old? 7 years, and offer it up on it for me. And then he said, I want you to tear down what? Baal's altar, and cut down what? The grove that's around it. How many men did Gideon take to go with him? 10. What time of the day or night did Gideon do all this? It was nighttime. Why? He feared his father's house and all the people that he had for him, didn't he? So anyway, the next morning, the men got up and they saw what was done. Where did they go? They went to Joash. Who was Joash? Gideon's dad, wasn't it? What did they want to do to Gideon? They figured out it was him. They wanted to kill him, didn't they? What did Joash say to him? He said, if Baal is a god and somebody destroyed his altar, he can take care of them. You don't need to. Now, if you guys still want to stand for him, this is me ad-libbing again. He said, I'll kill all of you before this morning's over. So they didn't. But then comes the battle when he sent Gideon sent messengers all through the land. And I got ahead of myself a little bit. That's not for this lesson. But he sent the messengers and everybody met him. And then what was the other 2 ways that he asked the Lord to prove himself? He said, I'm going to put a fleece on the floor. And he said, tonight, would you please let water just wet that fleece, but let all the ground around it be dry? What happened? Just like he asked, didn't he? So he said, Lord, I'm just going to ask you one more time. Here comes the third thing that he asked the Lord to do to prove that he'd be with him. What was it? He said, this only last time, I'm going to put the fleece down and you let it be dry and all the ground around it be wet. And what happened? The same thing happened. Just exactly what God did. He proved it. He proved it. He proved it. And then Gideon had great confidence. And the rest of Gideon's life is amazing. He did some wonderful things. When you're in trouble, guys, you call out and God will help you. He'll send a messenger, not really a prophet now, but you know angels are messengers. You have your own angel. Just pray, guys. And you know if you're not saved, ask him to save you. The only thing you need to know is that you're a sinner And the Bible tells us all that we are. So if you believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross, according to the scriptures, the Bible, and that he was buried and arose again the third day, according to the scriptures, ask him and he'll save you. Thanks, babies. Bye.